Ever since I can remember, I've been fascinated with fantasy and science fiction movies. I was just visually captured by it. It's always been a visual medium to me. A logical extension was not just to continue watching the movies, it was to try to duplicate them. My folks were kind enough to indulge me and buy me a camera at an early age, and I did Super 8 stop motion animation, so I had to do my little clay sculptures to animate. That was the first foray into, you know, being a sculptor and being an artist. You know, there was a film production that came to Stockton. We were asking all the crew, how do you guys get into this? How'd you do it? Did you go to school? Should we go to school for this? You know, and they go, no, just move there. Just do it. Just do it. It was just jumping in feet first and seeking my fortune. I mean, trying to seek my fortune. The first month I moved to Los Angeles, I go, this place is huge. I'm from this smaller town. I had to work just a string of regular retail jobs before I got my first production assistant job. I was running, going getting supplies and materials and watching. It was amazing to look at all of these top-notch makeup effects being made in front of me, and just I was a sponge, just soaking up as much information as I possibly could. I got to work on some pretty good productions in my tenure as a makeup effects artist, but I also worked on some schlock. If I added up the screen time of actual work that I did, it probably would amount to about 30 seconds. That was a little bit unrewarding. I was working at one of my makeup effects idols, Rick Baker's shop. Jurassic Park came out, and Rick was kind enough to take all of his crew to go watch it. A couple days later, I went to lunch with Rick, and he was concerned. I go, what, why? He goes, well, this is going to change the landscape of makeup effects. Here I'm ramping up my shop, and instead I might have to be downsizing. And that sent a red flag up with me. This is Rick Baker. This is a made guy in makeup effects. If he's concerned about the future of makeup effects, there's just no way I'm going to be able to get any traction in this business. You know, there's already so many guys. It's already so competitive. I was really giving a lot of thought to what I could do that differently in a different field that utilizes the same skill set as a sculptor. A friend of mine was working in makeup effects, but he was also doing side work as a prototype sculptor for Mattel. And he said, do you want to help me out? I need some help. And we got on well, so I said, yeah, absolutely. You know, that was a watershed moment. At the time, we were working in a pool house. Greg Anselo, my partner, he sees this little operation, and he thinks, well, this could be a bigger operation. Why don't we turn this into something? An association with Tim Rothwell and Elliot Letterman, who were at the time licensing executives at Universal Studios, had a property that needed a home. We had to jump through hoops of fire to get it, but we got our first crack at the Universal monsters. We didn't make much of a dent at first, but we wanted to do it. I was passionate about doing it. It was something that was dear to me. It was the Universal monsters. It was monsters. I was a kid who loved monster movies. It never occurred to me that people may not want to buy this, but that didn't drive me. I just wanted to do my version of it. I wanted to make my Aurora model kit. I wanted to make it something that was meaningful to me. We were making it for mass consumption. We decided, let's just do a 180. If we limit the edition and we elevate the product and we make it more iconic and we make it more sculpturally elegant, that started to gain momentum. And then we realized we're reaching a different audience now. As licenses became more available, as we had to actually prove ourselves less and less, and as the studios started coming to us more and more, we realized we were really on to something. I'm in an unfortunate position as one of the partners in the company where I have been able to pick and choose characters. That's what's inspiring. I get to create it. You know, I get to sculpt these forms into these characters. That's the fun part for me. That's the thing that's always got me excited about sculpting and about making these characters, is I get to put my stamp on it. It's gonna be my thumbprints on this. And over a period of days and weeks, it starts to take shape, and that moment where it really starts to take on the character, and you realize that this thing is now about to come to life. These are collectibles. They're limited edition. That elevates them to a particular place that makes them, in my opinion, a piece of fine art. And it has become a celebration of popular culture icons, superheroes and fantasy and creatures. But when I get to give a tour of someone who's curious about Sideshow, and I watch their eyes go wide because they're seeing this operation for the first time, I get proud because I'm seeing it now through someone else's eyes, someone who hasn't seen the evolution and the day-to-day and the trials and tribulations of getting to this point. And I go, wow, we really have created something special here.